Hey, happy Sunday, boomers. Welcome to our first virtual boom yoga class of the session. I'm so excited that you're here with me, although I wish I could see all your beautiful faces. I miss you guys so much. But I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy you're here. We are going to go through about a 45-minute yoga sequence. It'll be mostly strength-based with a fun pose thrown in there at the end. And we'll start and end with some nice stretching to ease you into the week, rejuvenate you after the craziness of last week, and hopefully release some of that tension and stress that we've all been holding on to. So a few things that you might need. One, first and foremost, you need a yoga mat, something like a traditional sticky mat, whatever you got at home. Go ahead and grab that, roll it out. The next thing is I do recommend grabbing a pillow or two and a blanket. These will just help you get cozy in some of the poses, and especially in Shavasana, you can really cuddle up and feel cozy at the end of your session. I mean, who doesn't like that? A couple of other things, if you have a yoga block, go ahead and grab one of those to help you be supported in some of these poses. If you don't have a yoga block, you can grab a water bottle and just use your Nalgene or your water bottle to help support you. You can even stack a few pillows. You can grab a few toys, a few books, whatever you have around the house that'll just help you get a little bit lifted and feel supported. So go ahead and grab all your equipment and roll out your mat, and then we are going to get started, okay? All right, so to start, go ahead and move to your mat and just start by finding a nice comfortable seated position. Hands can come to rest on your palms or in your lap, and then just allow your eyes to close. Start by taking a full body scan, seeing where you feel any tension in your body. With all of this stress and anxiety, we often hold our stress in different areas of our bodies. So just take a moment. Do you feel it in your hips or in your legs? Move up all the way through your torso, feeling your spine elongate and stretch towards the sky. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Are you holding your tension in your neck, in your shoulders, in your upper back? Feel the crown of your head reach towards the ceiling, feeling your spine nice and elongated all the way from your tailbone to your head. And just breathe. Slowing the breath down, not trying to deepen it or count, just letting it flow naturally and taking note of how it begins to slow down and get deeper on its own. Anytime we're able to find these moments of stillness, our body responds in kind, our mind slows down, our heart rate slows down. That sense of fight or flight that we constantly feel, it can melt away. And just continue breathing. Keeping your eyes closed, and simply observe your breath as an exploration. It may feel deep and rich, or it may feel shallow. And just acknowledge that without bias, without judgment. Just let it go and just breathe. Imagine with every single inhale, all the fresh new oxygen coming in to heal and nourish your body. And with each exhale, let everything negative go. Inhale, feeling your body expand and absorb all that good air like a sponge. And exhale all that stale air and energy out. Take one more big inhale, nice and deep, feeling your body take up space. And exhale with an open mouth. then go ahead and gently open your eyes. And then I want you to roll onto your back, bringing the soles of your feet together. Knees are out wide. And if you have some pillows, you can use them to prop up your knees so that it's not so intense on your hip flexors, this stretch. If you don't have pillows or blocks, you can always just use your fists and then place them underneath your upper thighs to use as props. This will allow your hips to relax into the pose without feeling any intense sensations. If you're not using your fists, your hands can come to rest on your belly or out to your side, or even in a goal post position overhead. And then again, bring your eyes to a close or a soft gaze. Allowing your breath to get even deeper. With each inhale, feeling your belly expand and your back press down into the mat. With each exhale, see if you can soften your muscles a little bit more. Relax your forehead, your eyelids, soften your cheeks, your jaw. And allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. And I invite you to take this moment to set an intention for your class. If you're having trouble coming up with something specific, I'd like you to take a moment to think about one single thing that you are grateful for. Is it your health? Is it the fact that you have a roof over your head? That you're fully stocked on toilet paper? Maybe it's your partner, your kiddos, your job. Whatever it might be, I want you to hold an image of that thing that you're grateful for in your mind. And I want you to know that it will be there for you whenever you feel stressed or anxious. You can always come back to this breath. Close your eyes and imagine that mental anchor. We'll take 2 more full deep breaths here. So inhale nice and deep. And exhale with an open mouth and sigh. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then using your hands, go ahead and bring your knees up. So the soles of your feet are touching the mat. Knees are and heels are hip distance apart. And we'll move into a bridge pose. So go ahead and bring your arms down by your side, palms facing down. And then to start, roll your shoulders gently underneath your upper back, making a rainbow shape with your upper back. Grounding your feet down into the mat. On an inhale, begin to lift your hips up, pressing your feet down into the ground. Making one straight line from your knees all the way to your shoulders. And breathe. We're going to hold this bridge for a few breaths. Ground the soles of your feet into the mat, super glue them to the mat, and then imagine pulling your heels in towards your back. So feeling that engagement in your hamstrings, in your glutes, in your lower spine. Continue rolling your shoulders underneath you. This will help protect your neck, as well as find a little more back bend in that upper spine. Squeeze those knees in, making sure they're not flaring out, but that they're still hip distance apart. Continuing your breath. If you'd like to, you can interlace your fingers underneath your back and then press your pinkies down into the mat, finding even more back bend, even more height here, and an even deeper chest opening. Continuing that breathing, activating those hamstrings, lifting through the hips. We'll take 2 more full, deep rounds of breath. See if you can lift a little higher on that last inhale. And then as you exhale, release your hands out to the side and slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Hug your knees into your chest, rocking a little bit side to side to release your low back. And then go ahead and drop your left foot down to the mat, crossing your right ankle across your left thigh, coming into a figure 4 stretch. You're welcome to stay here. You can press that right knee away from you, opening that hip. Or if you'd like to intensify the stretch, you can always bring that left knee in towards your chest, wrapping your arms, interlacing your fingers around the back side of your left leg. Again, dropping those hips down towards the ground, feeling that stretch, actively, openly rotating that right hip so that your right knee moves away from your body. Breathing, always breathing. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders? If you are, try to let that go. And then slowly roll out your left ankle. So going one direction a few times, and then the other way, pointing and flexing, just working out any pops or kinks you have there. Crunching your toes, spreading them out wide. And on your next exhale, slowly release that left foot back down. Right foot comes down to meet it. And then we'll switch sides. So right foot stays grounded, left ankle crosses over right thigh. And again, you're welcome to stay here if this is an intense enough stretch for you. If you'd like a little more, you can always hug your knees in, interlacing your fingers behind your right thigh. We're not always symmetrical, so one side may be more flexible than the other. I know that's the case for me. Again, relaxing your face, relaxing your shoulders, releasing your back muscles. Always using your inhales and your exhales to help you get through every single pose. Externally rotating that left hip so your left knee moves away from you. Feeling that stretch through your abductor muscles as well as your glute. And then go ahead and roll out your right ankle this time, making sure you're even, pointing and flexing, spreading your toes, scrunching your toes. And then on an exhale, slowly release back down, releasing that left foot to the mat. And then fully release your left leg to the mat so it lays long, and hug your right knee in towards your chest. Whenever you feel ready, go ahead and roll to your left side, bringing your right knee across your body, stacking your hips, coming into a spinal twist. Arms can be out in a T or in a goalpost position, and your gaze can come out over your right shoulder. If this spinal twist is too intense for you, you can bring your knees together. This will help release the tension in the low back. Even in these constricted poses where your torso is all twisted up, Continue that deep belly breath. Continue your breathing. Take one more inhale and exhale here. And on that next inhale, slowly come untwisted, rolling onto your back. And we'll switch sides. So right leg lays long. Hug that left knee in towards your chest. And then slowly roll to your right side, stacking those hips. And then again, doing whatever feels best with your arms. Allowing that left shoulder to drop, melting towards the mat. Again, you can always bring your knees together to decrease the intensity of that stretch. You're still going to get a great twist here regardless. Take one more full deep breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly roll onto your back. And then hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and bring your hands behind your thighs. And then we're going to do some full spinal length rocks up to seated. So doing it about 3 times. So rocking forward and back, massaging your spine all the way from your neck to your tailbone until you come to a seated position. All right. From here, go ahead and roll onto your hands and your knees, and we will find a spinal balance. So, shoulders are stacked over your wrists, hips are stacked over your knees, and your spine is nice and neutral. So, on an inhale, I want you to begin to lift your left leg behind you, parallel to the mat as much as you can. And whenever you feel balanced, go ahead and lift that right hand in front of you, thumb to the sky, finding your spinal balance or bird dog pose. Making sure you feel grounded, your right knee and left hand firmly rooted into the mat. Tucking that tailbone in towards your rib cage just a little bit to engage your lower abs. Inhale nice and big, and as you exhale, I want you to crunch, bringing knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, and exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, and exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, holding it for just a beat, and then exhale, release back down. And we'll do the other side. So again, we'll start with our legs. So extend that right leg back behind you, foot is flexed, heel facing the back of the room. And then whenever you feel ready, left arm comes up in front of you, thumb to the sky. Holding it here, finding our balance, finding our stability, continuing our breathing. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend, and exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend one more time. Exhale, crunch, curling your spine. And inhale, holding it here. And then exhale, release. And then just before we really get started in our standing poses, we're going to find a child's pose. So go ahead and press your hips down by your heels, knees are wide as your mat, and arms are outstretched in front of you. Forehead rests down on a blanket, on a block, on your mat. Continuing to breathe here. Feeling your body wake up. and your mind calm down. Take one more big inhale, exhale. And as you inhale, go ahead and roll forward onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, and then press your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. So keeping those knees bent, you can bend one knee and then the other, stretching out your hamstrings and your calves, heels pressing down towards the mat, pedaling your feet, or walking your dog. And then go ahead and find stillness in the pose, keeping those knees bent, hips are nice and high, hands are super glued into the mat, palming the mat, arms are strong, shoulder blades are moving down your back. And on an inhale, go ahead and lift your right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And we're going to open up the hip a little bit. So bend your knee and then opening your hip out to the right side of your mat. Lifting your knee up towards the sky. Feeling that stretch through your right side body and your right glute. On an inhale, straighten that leg back up to the sky. And then exhale, slowly move it forward. Stepping your foot between your hands, finding a runner's lunge. Exhale, lower that left knee down. And then as you inhale, I want you to lift your arms up, look up, reach up. And then go ahead and interlace your fingers and place your hands behind the nape of your neck. Bring those elbows in towards your face. And then lift those elbows up towards the sky, feeling a stretch through your triceps and your lats. Finding a gentle back bend here. Inhale, release your fingers, hands come overhead. And then as you exhale, we're going to straighten that right knee, sitting your hips back, and stretching out that hamstring. This is always where you can grab a block or your water bottle or both and use it to help prop yourself up. Taking a few deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly walk your hands back forward, framing your right foot. And then we're going to go ahead and place our left hand on a block or the mat. And sweep your right arm overhead, finding a spinal twist. Inhale, continuing that deep breath. Sinking those hips forward if that feels good on that left hip flexor. Take one more big deep breath here. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Plant those hands. Lift that left knee up off the mat. And then go ahead and step your right foot back into a high plank. Holding it here for just a couple of breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Then as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down onto the mat, onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Hands are pressed into the mat. As you inhale, peel your chest up, rolling your shoulders back, finding cobra. Elbows point to the back of the room. Chest and heart are shining forward, nice and proud. Smile. And then exhale, slowly release. Tuck your toes, lift up, and press your hips back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes to the sky, three-legged dog. And then we'll open that hip, bending your left knee. Foot comes a little bit behind you on the right side of your mat. Lift that knee up, feeling that stretch through your left glute. And then slowly straighten that left leg back out. And on an exhale, slowly bring that knee in towards your chest, towards your face, and then step that left foot between your hands. Right knee comes down to the mat. And on an inhale, arms, torso come up, look up, reach up, sink those hips forward. Breathing. Interlace your fingers, place your hands behind the nape of your neck, and then bring those elbows in, and then lift those elbows up to the sky, finding even more length in your torso, tucking that tailbone down towards the ground. Feeling your spine elongate. You don't want to crunch into your low back, so bringing that tailbone down, lifting up through your elbows. Go ahead and release your hands. Fingertips come up towards the sky. And then exhale, straighten that left leg, sitting those hips back, finding your hamstring stretch on the left side. Fold is always optional. You can sit up here. Again, you can use that block to help you balance. And then if you'd like to work towards folding, begin walking your hands towards your left foot. If at any time during your practice your mind begins to wander to all the things you need to do, how crazy your week is going to be, just acknowledge those thoughts. Thank them for reminding you of how busy you are. And then let them go. And always bring your mind back to that anchor. What are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? On an inhale, slowly begin to bend that left knee, walking your hands back to the front of your mat. And we'll find our spinal twist. So grab your prop or bring your hand down to the mat. And then sweep that left arm up overhead. Torso twists towards your left knee. Gaze could come up above to your fingertips. It can stay down at the floor or out in front of you. Finding your breath. Breathing here. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower that left hand down. Pop that right knee up off the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Finding your high plank for 2 full rounds of breath. So again, bringing that tailbone in, crunching it in towards your rib cage, super gluing your hands to the mat. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you can lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Untuck those toes. And as you inhale, lift up into cobra, shining your heart forward. Hips sink down into the mat. Full back bend here. And then exhale, slowly release. And we're going to go ahead and find a child's pose. So press your hips back down by your heels. Arms are outstretched in front of you. And just take a few moments here to find your breath. Find your center. Knowing that this is exactly where you need to be right now. Trusting yourself. And trusting the present moment. Knowing that whatever is going on around you, whatever is going on off of your mat, you don't need to worry about it right now. Just giving you these few moments in your day for self-care, for expressing gratitude, and being thankful. Take one more full, deep round of breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly come forward onto your hands and knees and make your way into your downward facing dog. So tuck those toes, press your hips up and back, thighs are making their way towards the back of the room. Knees are still bent so that the highest point is your hips. Take one more big inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, lift that right leg up to the sky. And then again, bend your knee, opening your hip. And this time, keeping your leg in this position, slowly begin to straighten that leg at a diagonal, really feeling that right glute work. Bend that knee again, and then go ahead and straighten it behind you. And on an exhale, step that knee and foot forward in between your hands at the top of your mat. Taking a moment here in this runner's lunge. And we're going to move into our warrior one pose. So from here, rotate that left foot down to the mat so it's at a 45-degree angle. Sole of your foot is pressing into the mat. And keeping your hips facing forward as much as you can, go ahead and lift your arms and torso up overhead. Left hip crease pulls forward, right hip crease pulls back. Squaring off your hips. You may need to shorten your stance. That'll help you with your balance. And squaring off your hips. And then sink down into that front leg. Finding that warrior one. Grounding down through your back heel. Really feeling that stretch all the way through your calf and your ankle. All the way up into that left hip flexor. See if you can sink a little deeper in that lunge. And then go ahead and release your arms behind your back. And you can grab your shirt or interlace your fingers. Roll those shoulders back and down, finding a back bend for just a moment. And as you exhale, bow forward. Arms come up overhead as much as they can, finding humble warrior. So bowing on the inside of your right leg. Again, shining your chest forward as much as possible. Take one more full deep breath here. And staying bowed, go ahead and release your fingers, placing them on the inside of your right foot. And then slowly walk your hands towards the middle of your mat, bringing your feet to parallel. And then slowly fold forward, finding a wide-angled forward fold. So to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, you can grab a pillow, you can grab your yoga block, you can stack books, whatever helps to allow you to sink into the pose, to really feel that stretch in your hamstrings and the outsides of your ankles. And breathe. Take a few more deep breaths here, seeing if you can sink down into the pose with each and every exhale. Releasing your neck, releasing your head, allowing the crown of your head to relax towards the ground. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. And keeping your hands planted, whether they're on the floor or a block or a pillow, go ahead and inhale and halfway lift. So spine is nice and straight, crown of the head is reaching towards the front of your room. Roll those shoulders back, shining your chest forward, almost like you feel like you're in a cobra. Belly is engaged. Keeping those feet super glued to the mat, squeeze them in towards each other, engaging those outer hips, those hamstrings. Breathe. And then staying right here with a flat back, go ahead and bring your hands to your hips, thumbs come to your hip creases. Hold it here, halfway lift. Again, belly is engaged, nice and strong. And on an inhale with a flat back, slowly begin to lift all the way up. And then release your hands down to your side. And then go ahead and step to the top of your mat. Take a moment here to reset, so close your eyes. Feel your feet rooted down into the ground. Shoulders drop away from your ears. And go ahead and open your eyes. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And then as you exhale, arms come out, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, nice and straight back. And then exhale, forward fold, hands come to your mat, and then go ahead and step it back into your high plank. Inhale, and then as you exhale, lower down, either reverse push-up or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale into cobra, and then exhale, release. Tuck those toes and press your hips back into downward facing dog. We'll take a couple of centering breaths here. Pedaling your feet if you need to, shaking out your hips a little bit. And on an inhale, lift that left leg up to the sky, and then bend your knee, opening that hip. And again, keeping that hip where it is, straighten that left leg as much as you can, feeling that engagement in your glute. Trying to evenly press down into the mat with each hand. And then slowly bend that left knee back down. Straighten that left leg again. And on an exhale, bend that knee, stepping it all the way forward to the top of your mat. And we'll find our warrior one on the left side. So go ahead and rotate that right foot down. You can pop up that foot a little bit so you shorten your stance. And whenever you feel ready, on an inhale, lift your arms and torso up to the sky, finding warrior one. Again, left hip crease pulls back, right hip crease pulls forward, and then sink into that left knee. Breathing here, finding the strength in your warrior pose, feeling your feet rooted down into the ground and then growing all the way up into your belly, into your heart, into your mind. In yoga, being a warrior is about being a spiritual and emotional warrior, being strong, being grounded, always trying to be centered. Inhale, and as you exhale, drop your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders back and down, back bend. And as you exhale, fold forward and to the inside of your left knee, arms come overhead, finding humble warrior. Again, releasing your head down towards the ground. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Take one more full deep breath. And as you exhale, release your hands to the inside of your left foot. And we'll do that wide angle forward fold on the other side. To walk your hands down towards the center of the long edge of your mat. I'm going to face you guys. Feet come to parallel. And then again, just forward fold. Shifting your way into the balls of your feet and toes of your feet. So that your hips are over your heels. This will allow your spine to release even more. Imagining your spine is like an accordion stretching out with each and every exhale. Finding that space in between your vertebrae. And go ahead and bring your palms to the floor or to your pillow. And And we're just going to kind of rock from side to side in a lateral lunge. So just gently bending one knee and then the other, moving your hips left and right. Releasing those hips, feeling an even deeper stretch in those inner legs. Pausing wherever it feels good. And go ahead and do that 2 more times on each side. And then go ahead and come back to center. Both knees are straight or in a micro bend. And then we're going to find our halfway lift. So go ahead and lift up. Spine is nice and straight. Again, feeling that engagement in your hamstrings. Really plugging your thigh bones into your hip sockets. Spine is nice and straight. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Rolling those shoulders away from your ears. Shoulder blades melting down your back. Engaging your belly. And then keeping this stance, go ahead and bring your thumbs into your hip creases and then squeeze those elbows up towards the ceiling, engaging those shoulder blades, feeling the engagement in your legs. Breathe. And on an inhale with a flat back, lift all the way up. And exhale, release your arms down. And then go ahead and step to the top of your mat again. We'll go through a cobra flow one more time to kind of reset. So inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Look up, reach up. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back into your high plank. Inhale, and as you exhale, reverse push-up all the way down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, release. And then inhale and press it back into a downward facing dog. We're going to hold it here for about 2 rounds of breath. And on that third inhale, walk or jump your feet towards the front of your mat. And then go ahead and bring your feet out wide. So about the width of your mat. And they're about 30 degrees away from your hips. So just a nice wide stance. And we're going to do 3 deep yogi squats before we move into our arm balance pose. So go ahead and lift those arms up overhead. Inhale. And exhale. And as you inhale, on your next inhale, go ahead and sit your hips down nice and deep, arms still lifted. And exhale, stand it up, pushing up through your heels. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, sit nice and low. And exhale, lift it up. Inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, we're going to sink it low and stay here. So you can stay right here. You can have a block or a pillow and place it underneath your sits bones so you have some support. And the goal is to get your elbows to the insides of your thighs to kind of help open up those hips. Hands come to heart center in a prayer position. And breathe. Roll those shoulders back and down, chest is still shining forward. And then go ahead and exhale, release your hands. All right, and we are going to move into our fun arm balance pose. So this is fun for the whole family. It's called crow pose. So there's a few different options of how to get into it, but I do recommend grabbing some pillows and some blankets just for your own peace of mind. So one thing I recommend doing if you've never done this before or if it kind of freaks you out is place some pillows in front of your face in case you fall. It'll help, it'll help protect you in your face, your beautiful face. All right, guys, so crow is an arm balance, like I said, and the goal you want to get, which is why we did those deep yogi squats, The goal is to get your knees up into your armpits, or at least on the back of your triceps, okay? So what you want to do is get your hands about probably 1.5 feet in front of your feet if you're in this position right here, or about 6 inches in front of your head. So palms are glued down into the mat, and then you want to make a shelf with your elbows, so with your triceps, that your knees can rest on. So the goal is to get really deep into this squat and then roll forward onto your hands so that you're eventually 1 foot comes off the mat and then 2 feet come off the mat. And your weight is entirely resting on your hands, okay? So from a little more of a side angle, this might help. So get up nice and high, get those knees up onto those triceps or in those armpits, and then gently roll forward. If you just come on your tippy toes, that's perfectly fine. You can play with lifting 1 foot off, lift the other foot off, and then eventually both. Okay, so just try that for a few times, playing around with it. If you can, I want you to take a selfie or take a picture of your partner or your kiddo trying out this yoga pose. It's super fun, and it's just something that you can do at home randomly when you need a break, maybe from work, or if you're feeling stressed, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to try crow. And it's awesome, because eventually arm balances, once you get them, and it's just so empowering, and you feel so brave and so strong, and it's just fun. So go ahead and give it a couple of more tries here. And grab a drink of water if you need it. I wish I could see all you guys trying this, but be sure to take video or selfies or something, because I want to see you guys rock this pose like I know you're all doing, okay? All right. So now that we've done that, we're going to move into our final twists and our final resting pose. So go ahead and find a seated position. If you have a blanket, I do recommend placing it folded onto your mat and place it directly underneath your booty so that your hips would kind of roll forward. So you'll feel your pelvis kind of tilt forward, and this will help you release your low back and your hamstrings to find a deeper stretch in these seated stretches. So to start, we're going to start with a twist. So go ahead and extend your right leg out in front of you, and then bend that left knee in. Left sole of your foot is on the mat. Go ahead and place your left hand behind you, either on the blanket or on the mat, and lift that right arm up to the sky. And then as you exhale, go ahead and twist to your left towards that bent knee. You can either hug your knee in, finding the twist that way, or if you'd like to intensify it, you can bend that right elbow, placing it on the outside of your left thigh, and then twisting. So whatever option feels best on your body right now. I don't want you to think that you have to be somewhere. You shouldn't think that your body should be able to do something. It just is where it is, and it's beautiful the way it is. And that's how it is. You can bring the twist all the way up into your neck, looking back over your left shoulder. As you inhale, stretch the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper into that twist. Take one more big inhale and exhale here. And then slowly come out of the twist. Keeping your legs where they are, go ahead and drop that left knee out to the side, coming into a half butterfly. And from here, we'll find a revolved head to knee pose. So you can grab another blanket or a pillow and place it to the inside of your right leg. Top of your right forearm comes down to the pillow or the mat, and then begin to use that arm, pressing it to the inside of your right leg to twist your chest open. So we're going to twist it open. You should feel a stretch all the way through your left hip and your left oblique. And then if you like to, you can extend that left arm overhead, reaching out towards those toes. Begin sliding your hands towards your foot if that's available to you. Even if you're right here, just opening that chest out to the left side, arm overhead, you're going to get that oblique stretch. You're going to feel it. Take one more full deep breath here. And as you inhale, lift all the way up. And we'll switch legs. So left leg comes out in front of you, right knee is bent, right sole of your foot is on the mat. And we'll start off with that twist. So right hand comes behind you as a kickstand, left arm reaches up overhead. And as you exhale, twist to the right, finding the stretch that serves you best. Right here, right now. If you have any low back issues or the spine, this twist really bothers you, just ease out of it. Just hug your knee in towards your chest, bringing your torso towards that bent knee, and you're still going to get a twist here. You're still getting that stretch. Just listen to your body. Listen to your breath. Take one more big inhale and exhale. And then slowly come out of the twist and drop that right knee out to the side in a half butterfly. And we'll find revolved head to knee pose on the left side. So top of your left arm comes down to a blanket, a pillow, your child, whatever you're using as a prop, or the mat. And then go ahead and twist your chest open to the front of your room. You can even bring your right hand to your right hip and pull that elbow and shoulder back, opening your chest. And then slowly begin to reach that right arm up and overhead, intensifying that side stretch here. Breathing. Take one more full deep round of breath. And on an inhale, slowly use that right arm to lift yourself all the way back up. And then go ahead and release your legs out in front of you and make your way onto your back. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. You can even find happy baby. So knees are bent, soles of your feet are up towards the ceiling, and you can reach to the insides of your feet or your big toes, pulling your knees down towards the mat. And then again, just rocking side to side, massaging your low back, releasing your hips. From here, we'll do one more twist before we find Shavasana. So left leg lays long, right knee hugs in. And then slowly roll to your left side. Again, going back to that twist we started our practice with. Maybe taking a note of if it feels any differently now than it did at the beginning. And if it doesn't, take a note of that. Take one more inhale and exhale. And on your inhale, slowly roll back onto your back, hugging both knees into your chest. Once again, maybe drawing some circles with your knees, one direction and then the other. And then go ahead and hug your left knee in, right leg lays long. And then slowly roll to your right side, stacking your hips on top of the other. And release. Breathing here. Take one more big inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly come untwisted. And then do any kind of organic movements you need to do before finding Shavasana, our final resting pose. So maybe drawing opposite circles with your knees. Maybe it's happy baby. Maybe it's hugging both knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug. Whatever that might be, I just want you to find it. And then whenever you're ready, Go ahead and lower your body all the way down. So of course, you can use whatever comfy props you have at your disposal. You can roll a blanket and place it underneath your knees. You can use a pillow to place it underneath your head, of course. And one of my favorites is to just use a blanket to cozy up, tuck myself in, cover my toes, and then go ahead and lay all the way back down. Hands rest down by your sides, palms face up. And bring your eyes to a close, allowing your body to release, to relax. And breathe. We're only going to do a mini Shavasana for now, so I encourage you, if you can stay here, I recommend staying here for at least 5 to 10 minutes to allow your body to really soak in everything that it's just done. And really, how often do we allow our bodies to just rest and relax for even 5 to 10 minutes in a day? Not watching TV, not reading a book, not looking at our phone, but just truly letting go. Allow your breath to be shallow and natural. Drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Allow your mind to become still and quiet. And if you'd like to keep remaining in Shavasana, please stay here. If not, go ahead and slowly hug your knees in towards your chest. Arms outstretched behind you, overhead. And then hug your knees in, giving yourself a big ol' hug, thanking your body for all the hard work it's done for you today and will do for you every day. Then slowly roll to your left side, using your left arm as a pillow. Take a moment to remember your intention that you set at the beginning of class. What are you grateful for? And know that that thought, that person, whatever it might be, can serve you in so many ways throughout this week. Keeping your eyes closed, go ahead and press yourself up to a seated position on your mat. Hands come to heart center. And I want to thank you so much for following along in this practice today. I know that at times like these, we can all feel really disconnected from each other, from ourselves. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. And I'm so happy that you decided to share your practice with me today. I know it was an honor to share the practice with you. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. All right, you guys, I hope you feel better. I hope you feel rejuvenated. I hope you feel a little less tense and a little less stressed. And if you're in Shavasana, I'll whisper. But thank you guys, boomers. Again, have an awesome, boomtastic Sunday. And I will see you guys again on Wednesday night. I think we're going to try to do a live one so I can see all your beautiful faces. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, and we'll try to make it happen. All right, love you guys. Bye.